research slot. Time to research.
Construction 1, the entire construction tree is really important. You should be keeping on top of that.
Yeah. Was kind of considering.
Excavation, not so much, because you're not exactly replete with natural resources. I'm not aware of any great Yugoslavian iron mines, for example.
No, I don't think we have any. Like our main resources, I guess, like water and stuff, which I don't really think matters at this point. Another question, how early do you need to start, like, repairing relations with countries or something?
Unless you plan on going into a faction, you don't really need to.
Yeah, because I'm thinking of going, like...
But you can be friendly early to increase the chance of getting into a faction and make it easier to get into a faction. But right now it costs political points to do that, and right now you don't have too many political points, and you want to use that to beef up your cabinet.
Yeah. Oh, we got this. Slavic refinery. Cool.
You should probably get on researching the second one right away.
Yeah. Just looking at the details.
Increasing the level of those just increases the amount you can build in every state, and what you should do right now, actually, is build them. Cancel one of the factories, cancel one of the factories in every single province, except for the ones that only have one civilian factory, and just replace them with a synthetic refinery.
Okay. Has 404, has both too, okay, so that...
The green ones are the ones you can build in, the blue ones are full.
Go. So should we just, like, boost them up in terms of priority, or...
Put them on the second priority after the current batch of factories. So just boost them to the top and then boost the one you've been working on. If you press shift, it'll automatically go to the top.
Ah, okay. Just boost them all on the top, and then boost the current one.
The one with the green bar.
Oh yeah, like this. Okay. Cool.
I'm kind of backseat gaming, but...
No, it's fine. This is better than the actual tutorial, plus I'm trying to learn stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they aren't exactly the best at tutorials.
Yeah, I actually managed to mess up the tutorial, as in it didn't know what to tell me what to do next because it kind of bugged out.
So what you should go for immediately, and we kind of accidentally did, is go for that extra research slot.
Okay. So...
Right below infrastructure effort 2.
Okay, so just go for that.
Yes. And then you can just move on to whatever after that, because a 4th research slot is incredibly important.
Yeah, they didn't mention that, at least in the tutorial. But...
Italy is weird because it has its own unique tree, and Yugoslavia just uses the generic one.
Yeah, like anything that doesn't fall into other countries, I think, has its own unique tree. Or at least that's what, like, they tell you.
The main ones have their own unique tree, so Italy, Germany, France, UK, Soviet Union, America, And Poland in a DLC that came with everyone's version of the game.
And Japan, I think, as well.
Yes, Japan and China.
Okay, so we have the Captain of the Industry and we have the Military Theorist giving boosts. I guess Industrial Concern makes sense since we're going for that.
Or you could go and see what Industrial Concern's more for industrial research.
Yeah, I see now. Research time and electronics research time. Well, let's see what.
But what you could do is you could change your economy from a full civilian one to something else.
Oh, okay. How does that work?
You're currently in the civilian economy. You're building toasters.
Okay.
You can. Oh, wait, you can't because you're not at war. This in particular is tied to world tension. The higher your world tension is, the easier, or the more the less political clout you need to mobilize your economy, basically. And since things aren't really going off right now, nobody really wants to change their toaster factory into bullet factories.
Yeah.
But I think you can turn from a volunteer into a conscription army. A limited conscription army?
Yeah, limited conscription.
Yeah, if you ever needed any more men for any reason.
Well, we're low on manpower, so that seems like it makes sense.
Yeah.
The limited conscription. To be honest, I think historically that is one of the things that was done early on. Because we had limited conscription, like until 6 years ago, I think that was when it was abolished. Like it used to be like 3 years, then 1 year, and then 8 months. Okay, we have support weapons.
So actually this air power map is actually kind of maddening to look at. Could you switch it back, please? Back to land.
Oh, this.
Yeah, the map mode, you just... the thing in the bottom right, the three buttons, you're currently in the bottom one.
Oh, okay, this.
The default map mode. That is much better to look at and not nearly as brown.
I have no idea what even went to map mode.
When you select an airplane, it goes into airplane map mode. Or aviation, I don't know why I'm saying airplane.
Okay, so this is all a few years ahead of its time.
If you research, well, some of your focus trees will give you lesser penalties to before their time stuff, but if you're not doing that and it's not really critical, you should more or less ignore those. So I think one of the good things about Yugoslavia is they don't start out locked into a doctrine.
Yeah, so I can.
They can be They can be any of these four, and each of them have their own strengths and weaknesses. Grand battle plan is what most of the West starts out with. That's basically trench warfare, but better. Mass assault doctrine is like for giant blobs of cheap things, like the Chinese and USSR. Superior firepower is kind of... yeah, that's also World War I, but a different kind of World War I, the artillery part of World War I. And that's about building towed artillery and just pounding the shit out of the enemy with tubes.
Throwing money at them in bullet form.
And the mobile warfare is more for... mobile warfare is for Germany, particular. Nations with not a lot of manpower, but a lot of factory output.
Yeah.
Because the stuff that benefits from that, mechanized, motorized, and tanks, are incredibly difficult to manufacture. Or expensive, I guess.
Yeah, and we don't really have the infrastructure for tanks and shit, so I guess Grand Battle Plan Doctrine.
I would take a look at them, because you can see what each of them does by just hovering over them, and see which one you prefer.
Max Entrenchment, Max Planning...
Grand Battle Plan is more for defensive. Overwhelming Firepower is more offensive.
Yeah. Mobile Warfare, Flying Speed, Division Speed... Organization...
I wouldn't recommend going Mobile Warfare. But that's just me. You can if you want. You can make it work. It would just take some effort.
We heard that the mobile warfare is Germany firepower, USA battle plan is Britain, France, and mass China, USR for rough deal each year. Well, I'm not sure I'm gonna have the factory output for vehicles, so we can go with Grand Battle Plan Doctrine, I guess. For SARS, seems like the most straightforward one.
That's the most straightforward and the most defensive oriented.
Yeah, I'm kind of expecting we'll be defending Yugoslavia, not conquering. I don't think I...
Doctrine is kind of very expensive to research, but that can be offset with stuff in the focus trees.
Well, right now, I think this run will be built for defense. Like, I don't think...
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a first offensive run.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, this is yet more... Oh, wait, there's a thing you're not building. What is it to say you're not building?
Missing equipment production.
You're not making fighters? Oh, okay.
Oh.
You don't really have to if you don't want to go into aircraft.
Yeah, I don't think there's much of a point.
I mean, aircraft are kind of really important, but not for Yugoslavia, because unless you don't do a lot of it early, you're not really going to be able to do much with it.
Yeah, that's what I kind of meant. Like, I don't expect it will be... I'll be able to play to that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the current strength is like being defensive with infantry because of like, you know, the terrain being mostly hills and mountains.
Yes. Mostly hills and mountains, and also you start with engineering battalions.
Yeah.
Which they just inherently increase the max entrenchment your infantry guys can get, or of anyone that they're attached to.
I mean,
infantry or not.
I mean, if you're going to trust Serbian or Yugoslavian World War II films, basically, it was a bunch of just people fighting and maybe a few stolen tanks or something. I don't even know whether we have a proper air force.
I'm pretty sure you had a bunch of stuff bought from like France and Britain after World War I, but that was about it.
Yeah.
I know the Soviets sold you a bunch of like Sukhoi plans, but that's not for a while.
So, let's see. First, factory output 10%. Construction speed 10%. I think maybe...
Construction speed is, again, more important.
Yeah, that's what I've been thinking as well. So how do you like this version of the game compared to previous one? The 3, 2, and 1?
This one's a lot more streamlined. It's a lot more user-friendly, I will say that up front. It's not nearly as archaic, because Hearts of Iron 3 was like a 2006 game.
Yeah, I tried getting into 3 and just couldn't pierce it.
3 is very, very, very much on micromanagement of everything. This one, not so much. I kind of like that, and I kind of don't. It doesn't crash nearly as often, which I will say is a huge plus.
Military high command doesn't seem like something you want until you're in war.
Yeah.
Division attack, division defense, division recovery rate. Air Force. I'm not sure what to go with here. Expert focus. Factory output, construction speed. Construction speed less.
Usually, you start with the law you want to be at.
Yeah, I'm just looking at
Because
stuff.
free trade gives you more stuff, but you have less resources to use.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a problem when you already are low on resources.
Well, maybe we should decide to go towards something. I guess move towards democracy. I think I'll align myself with like the Allies faction.
The Allies are a good choice.
Because really, I feel I don't want to align myself with Germany, and yeah, just go with that.
Oh man, you don't want to conquer Russia with your good buddy Hitler?
Nah, I think we've had enough Hitler and Rompet.
Alright.
Alright. We can discuss this internally for a start. Knowing we're in the right, we can afford allowing our enemies to talk more openly. Increases the chance of people voicing support for democracy and forming an opposition. Increases the chance of internal support for arranging elections.
Basically, a lot of these are more flavor-based in basically, do you want support from the top or support from the bottom? Do you want a pop, like for instance, the communists make it more directly, do you want a popular uprising or a foreign coup?
Well, let's go with chance of people voicing support.
I'm not too sure the fascists have such nuance. I think they're just a bunch of strong men no matter what.
Oh, right, I should not pause. Actually, I'm gonna go real quick and get something to drink real back.
Right. I'm not really surprised that they have a bunch of World War I French tanks. The French just kind of threw them at everyone after the war.
Okay, back.
Welcome back.
Where we have an old plan. That's good.
Like, up until the Soviets got around to cranking out stuff, the Renault FT was the most produced tank in the world. And pretty much everyone had it.
Efficiency camp. Factory output. Let's go with that.
Oh, wait. You can now build 2 refineries per thing since you researched level 2.
Yeah. Okay, we'll do that after choosing another tree.
Yeah.
I was thinking to go just this first 2.
Alright, man. Just go whatever.
Well, if we fail, we'll fail gloriously at least. Okay, so where is construction? Okay, so we can now have 2 of these.
Slovenia already has room for 1 more. You can just press the plus.
Ah, okay. Oh, okay, it says like this. That one's good. Croatia.
Actually, you don't want to go too heavy into those, so yeah, I'd say that's good enough for now.
So just remove Croatia then, and just keep it like this.
Now, build the 2 in the provinces that can build 2, and then just cancel the ones with only 1.
Oh, you mean just cancel everything that's 1? Okay.
Because civilian will kind of be more important, because you can trade civilian factories for foreign resources via trade.
Yeah. Also, that was weird, like you like varying factories for stuff.
Yeah, it is kind of weird, but it's a gameplay conceit. You can also gain factories if you're a net exporter, but you're Yugoslavia. which is not a net exporter.
Yeah. Okay, now we have a 4th slot. Let's see.
I seen you're focusing a lot on stuff. I'd say go into electronic engineering right now, because that just gives flat reduction to research times.
Yeah, I was literally about to do that. Yeah, that's good.
So now we gotta choose what we're gonna go next.
Nuclear effort or secret weapons?
You can just go down a new tree as well, if you want. I think if you go down political effort, you can go down either liberty or collectivist.
Yeah.
Because you're neutral and not in one side or the other. Also just gives you flat political power, the first one.
Yeah.
After you go through political, one really important way to get your army modernized is going down the army focus tree, because that gives you a bunch of discounts on military equipment for your armies. Or research, I mean.
Yeah, I think like we can do maybe one more focus before we go to army effort, because of the time.
So, since you've decided... I'll let you see this. So, since you've decided to throw your lot in with the Allies, I would suggest moving your army to your land border with Italy. And you have to do that from your not aircraft
Got that.
map.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just select the army in the bottom and have them order to a front line. Right now, you've only selected one unit of that entire army. Just click the guy's portrait.
Or select all. Okay.
Or that, yeah.
So that's... Well, that's not offensive line, that's...
Front line.
Front line, okay.
The front line is where your units are positioned. And you just click. What you could do is manually... I think you can manually extend that line to Austria, because Germany will take Austria.
Yeah. Like this. Yeah, there we go. That's the proper line.
Oh, you didn't extend it, you created a second one.
Oh.
You have to hit edit if you want to extend it. You should just delete that one with the trash can on the right.
Nope, it just deleted my entire division. Damn it.
What?
Just delete order. Oh, delete order, okay.
That just deletes the order. Yeah, you have to actually click the thing you want to delete.
Okay. That confused me for a moment.
If you hold right click, you can set which provinces you want, if you want them lesser or more.
Okay. Oh, there we go.
Or maybe not, because that's technically a foreign border and you can only have a front line on one.
Oh god damn it, like this is so fucking...
What you want to do is don't send them to that, press the button above them with the arrow and the exclamation point.
The arrow and the exclamation point.
Above your army.
Oh, this one? Click to activate? No, this is execute.
Yes, click to activate execution of the thing. That's how you execute plans.
Okay. So
what you actually should do, though, is set a second front line on the north and then just manually assign half of that army.
Okay.
Because you have them in so little space that they will be taking attrition damage.
Okay, so let's take the bottom half of them. Shift click to toggle selection. There we go. So add them to this line.
You have to manually select them with the division assignment tool.
Oh god. Okay, let's try this again from the start. This is super convoluted right now.
Alright, so super convoluted. What you do is you first... If you just click that guy's portrait on the bottom, that selects everyone.
Okay. And they're going to
zooms
this
to them.
line. Yeah, and this...
They're going to that line currently.
Yeah.
What you can do is you can manually select 11 divisions out of the list. Because I don't think there's any... Or wait, there may be.
There's 22 divisions.
One of the buttons up top might just be select half. On the top right of that
Change division
thing.
template. Select half, yeah.
And then send that second half with the division selection tool, which is the third from the right on the bottom battle plan line. Third from the right.
Third from the right.
Division assignment.
Oh, okay. And then assignment.
And then control click that second one
Okay.
to have them move to that.
Okay.
I don't know why it's not just click, but it's control click.
Okay. So we have that now.
They are now on your northern border.
Someone in chat is asking where to choose between Europa Universalis, Hearts of Iron, and Crusader Kings. I heard Europa Universalis is the most beginner-friendly one.
It definitely is.
I went with this one because...
if you really like child murder for whatever reason, I'm not here to judge, go for Crusader Kings.
Yeah, Crusader Kings has crazier shit from what I've gathered, and I just went with
tell
this.
them...
Yeah.
Retell them to execute that plan, because they've kind of bunched up, I think. Or you're zoomed out too far.
Nope, this is half the army. They're just bunched up. So do you want me to bunch them out?
No, what you can do is you press that button again, and they'll redo the thing. Cause what you did before is you just right-clicked them and told them to go to that province.
So click to activate again? Or do you want me to select these and then just make them go?
No, just send them to do it. They have their orders, they just need to do their thing.
Okay, so control, click.
No, stop. They're already assigned to that army. You can tell because there's the 11 divisions right there.
Okay.
They're assigned to that front. The other 11 are assigned to the second one. You just need to tell them to execute their orders.
So that's this button.
Yes. That is the execute order button. That is the most important of the buttons.
I mean, they're already executing it, so...
Oh.
So I get...
Select all of them, because you haven't selected all of them, just the ones in the north.
Okay, select all, execute. Nope, they're still, like, in that kind of layout.
This is kind of a dumb quirk. You can select them manually, send them a couple provinces back, and then when they're there, tell them to resend.
Okay, so the current troublemakers are the guys on this front?
They're the ones on your Italian border, yes.
So, okay, I'll send them back then to another province, like this, wait for them to come back, execute.
Yeah, like send them to Zagreb. Or just anywhere, really.
Okay, Hindenburg incident. Oh, actually, wait, we're doing that, I need to do...
You gotta wait for them to get to the province you told them to get to before sending you the thing.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so it's 937.
You can start with your army efforts and
Yeah.
get your guys geared up to fight.
Yeah, that was the plan, and we can add another government official, I guess. We have fascist, communist, popular figurehead, prince of...
Do you have a backroom fax member?
backroom?
Oh, if you have a popular figurehead, use him. You want
Okay.
you want national unity. National unity is the most important stat because it determines how long you can stay in a war. Also, you can give your guys the orders now.
Okay. So get them back here.
Just let them do their thing. And then forget about them.